Hello and welcome back to the studio here in beautiful Northumberland. And actually Northumberland is slightly less beautiful today because this is what I'm going to paint. There. It's the famous Sycamore Gap tree. It's a sycamore tree on the wall at Hadrian's wall. And this beautiful tree is iconic, really, especially in the northeast of England, where I live, and it's known worldwide. It's even featured in a major movie, which was Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, with Kevin Costner, wasn't it? Yeah. It's a really famous tree and is very special to a lot of people and well loved. In a very historic part of the world, of course, Hadrian's Wall, the Roman wall. And then, a couple of nights ago, a couple of brainless morons decided to go in the dead of night with chainsaws and chop it down. And so now it is no more. Very, very sad. So, excuse me. So, this is what I'm going to paint. Start off again with a quick outline drawing, as normal. And by the way, I say brainless morons because that's what they are. And if I offend any fragile people by my tone during this video, then tough. Anyway, on with the drawing. And I'm going to start off, I'm using both photographs just to kind of like change the positions slightly, the viewpoints, should I say. Starting off about here, yeah, with the top of the tree. And as you can see, the shape of the thing is absolutely beautiful, perfect, or it was. And I'm doing what I don't normally do, something that I don't normally do here, which is draw the shape of the foliage. But it's quite important on this one because it is such an iconic shape. Bit here and coming down here. Yeah. And now we've got the tree trunk coming up. I'm using the normal gear, screw fix pencil, obviously, either that or IKEA, and the tree trunk coming up here. Quite a sick tree trunk, that one. And split the boughs there. And there'll be a lot more boughs, twigs and stuff like that, but within the tree. But when I do that, I'll do those with my paintbrush rather than drawing them all. I'm just sticking to the main important ones that you can see at the moment. A few bits coming off here. And strange as it may seem, this is only the second time I've painted this. The first time, I've lived up here for 34 years now. And the last time I did this, it was for one of the Tyne-Tees TV programmes. We were doing a programme about Hadrian's Wall, which of course is either side of it. This is in the gap in the wall. And we made a Tyne-Tees TV programme about it and featured the tree in that. If you've ever been there, you would know that you, on that wall, you can't not feature the tree. Left a bit of a gap there in between drawing twigs and boughs because I shall have foliage across that. And there'll be a load more there as well. And actually, I'm just going to take this down a little bit further, right there. And grass underneath it. And now I'm kind of like changing the focus on the photograph there. coming up here, and these are little bits of wall, fallen down bits coming up, and it's quite a steep incline going up there. Just a wobbly, squiggly line for the top of the wall. And grass is coming down here. Yeah, in that Robin Hood Prince of Thieves film, some little kid was being chased by hounds, which were Irish wolfhounds actually, and he climbed up the tree, and the hounds were standing at the bottom of the tree trying to get him. And along came Kevin Costner and saved the day. Here's a bit more wall coming up here. And some more here, a few sharper bits there. And at the base there are rocks, a few rocks. I'll just map in where I'm going to put those there. Grass at the bottom of that. And that will more or less do for the wall and the tree. I've got a little bit of distance there. I'm going to not make that so prominent. I'm going to bring that a little bit lower there. Look. And there's some trees over in the far distance there, which won't figure very strongly, but they'll be there. Now, here, it's not so much a track, it's not a path, sorry, but it is a little bit of a track there. But it's also a fabulous leading to the picture. And so you notice that there, I've curled it going to point to the tree. See? And now, you'll notice as well, I only taped off the top and the bottom. I'm going to tape off the sides now that I've finished the drawing. I haven't done any cheating, but I decided once I'd taped that on that I wanted the tree a little bit taller. So you see another line there. I've just taken the foliage a little bit further up. Now it's time for the sky. And I'm using all my usual equipment, as ever, those of you that know me, everything I use is Dale Rowney. And this is a Dale Rowney Aquafine brush. Well, all my brushes are Dale Rowney Aquafine. This is the 1.5 inch flat wash brush. Plenty of water from the top all the way down. And I've gone through the tree as well, remember? Remember, if you're going to leave gaps in foliage, if you start and paint around that tree, you're going to end up with big clumps of white paper where you leave gaps. So paint through it, and that way, when you leave gaps in the foliage, you've got sky colours showing through, rather than white paper. Bit of yellow ochre there. Wash up and mop up. Now, a little bit of light red. Just a touch. Don't want it too strong, because it's light red, but it is very powerful. Light red there. And again, wash out, squeeze out. Move that around a little bit. Soften one colour into the other. And again, mop up. And now, ultramarine blue and light red mixed. So there's my ultramarine blue. Touch of light red into it. Pop that on there. Going from the top, then gently, slightly lighter strokes, coming all the way through into the other colours. Now I'm going to wash out, squeeze out, and still with that ultramarine blue and light red mix, slightly stronger, and down there. Move it around a little bit. I'm just tapping on with the sharp edge of the brush. Wash out, squeeze out, mop up again. And now, again, just with the sharp edge of the brush, just take out a few little bits of light here and there. Don't need much. Mop up again. And there, that's a fairly simple sky, but fairly atmospheric as well. And now I'll just leave that to dry for a couple of minutes. Fine. Just to start with the trees in the distance there. And I don't want these too strong. I've changed to my number 8 round brush, again, Aquafine. And I'm just going to dab in a few distant trees there. Just using the tip of my number 8 brush. Leave a few gaps. Leave a few gaps at the gap. And a few more there. Just tapping on. And that's Hooker's Green with a tiny touch of light red into it. Keep the theme the same. Light red in the sky. Light red in there. I could use burnt sienna in there, but it would be a little bit strong. Now, a little bit of yellow ochre and light red mixed. Very light. Around the tree. Yes, when it happened, it was a big shock to everyone in the northeast, let alone the rest of the world. Suddenly, the next morning, the tree was just laid on its side with a stump left. What is in some people's mind? As a society, what have we become, honestly? Like that. Now, I just need a little bit more of the green mix. Plenty of water into that. I'm just going to drop that into there as well, a little bit stronger. There, that's better. Just let it spread. Wash out, squeeze out, and now just soften with a clean damp brush. I squashed it between my finger. You're trying to keep up with my finger. And soften through there. I'll do it in slow motion, Gail, look.
Thank you.
I'm just squashing between my fingers.
Okay.
And now, did I do that slowly enough for you?
You did. People are going dizzy trying to follow that one.
And again, mop up there. We did one a couple of days ago about the watercolour pencils. We did a painting in watercolour pencils a couple of days ago. Somebody said on YouTube feedback, "Thank you for yet another excellent painting by the Charles and Gail show." Charles and Gail show.
More like I Love Lucy. If anybody remembers that.
No, I don't remember that. There you go. I'm going to let that dry before I start on the tree next. Just let it dry a little bit so it doesn't bleed into the tree trunk. Now, that's dry enough. It's not going to bleed in too much, I don't think. I'm going to go straight in with the tree now. I'm starting off with I've got the light coming from the left in this one. I'm starting off again with my number 8 round brush and a little bit of yellow ochre. Now, if you want a tree trunk to appear rounded rather than flat, use 3 colours. And I'm using yellow ochre first. 3 colours, but get the last colour going in. I'm talking about for the thick trunk bit. Get a rounded look to it. Get the last colour in whilst the first colour is still wet. That way, the colours will bleed into each other a little bit, and you'll get a rounder look to your tree trunk. And that's yellow ochre. Now I'm going in with raw umber. Fairly strong. Raw umber, as you know, that's the only brown I carry. So if I take my raw umber by itself, I've got a nice standalone brown. Then put a touch of blue into it. I've got sepia. Then put a touch of burnt sienna into my sepia mix. I've got Van Dyke brown. Then take your raw umber and burnt sienna mixed. You got burnt umber. So I've got 4 different browns from one tulip. There, now you see the colours running into each other slightly. And the final colour of the 3 is black, but not manufactured black. Mixy black. Raw umber, sorry, ultramarine blue and burnt sienna mixed. And that will give you a nice black. There you go. Put the water into that. And get that to the right hand side. And then you can see the colour running into the other colours. Gail, you can't really get any closer in, can you?
No.
Okay, just saying. Because my brush is touching the camera.
We like a good close-up.
Yeah, but there's close-up and there's going up my nose with it.
I've got a large nose. Get a camera a bit.
Excuse me. Now to my rigger brush, number 4 rigger, and I have those finer ones now. I'm going straight just for dark within the top twigs because there'll be foliage all the way around them and they would be in shadow. Rigger brush is fabulous for twigs. I don't know if you can hear all that background noise on the film, but that's geese. There's loads of geese flying over at the minute. I think they've just arrived in the country.
Where have they come from?
Geeseland. I don't know where they've come from.
Oh, I thought you did.
Where have they come from? They've come from where geese live. Somebody will tell us that now on YouTube feedback.
Good.
So if anybody knows where the geese have come from, address it to Gail, not me.
Please let us know.
And a few bits there. Starting to look like a tree now, isn't it?
Yep. The tree that once was.
Yeah, once was. Someone else said on YouTube as well, on Twitter, I ought to be just let out onto the streets of Newcastle. I don't think it would last long, actually. A few more bits there. And a few. By the way, I always forget to mention that. If anybody's on Twitter, follow me on Twitter. Because every painting I do, whether I be at home or on the road, travelling, doing the workshops and stuff, I put it on Twitter, stage by stage.
It's now called X.
Well, it's now called X, of course, not Twitter. I must move with the times. Now, that's ready for foliage. Right, now, that's more or less dry, so it's straight in with the foliage. when it comes to foliage, this is the time when quite often people go to their smallest brush and paint individual leaves. Don't go there. I'm using my 3/4 inch, again aquafine, my 3/4 inch flat brush. But I'm splitting the brush, look, into yellow ochre to start with. See, I've split it. Now, on there. Keep the brush split. I'm going to have 2 shades of green going on in this as well. And I keep looking down here because I'm looking at the photograph that I've got of the tree. And it will probably be easier. Let's put that there, wouldn't it, Gail?
I would really, and then everybody else could see it as well.
Okay, fine. Well, why didn't you tell me that before?
I just thought of it now.
Okay. So you're trying to appear clever.
Yep.
Yep, yellow ochre there. Now, hooker's green and yellow ochre, but a lot of yellow ochre into it. There's my hooker's green. And a lot. You see what an awful colour is, hooker's green by itself. But as we know, as a mixer, it's a fabulous colour. Hooker's green and yellow ochre. Plenty of water there. And again, I'm splitting the brush. Stippling in amongst the yellow ochre, but leaving bits of yellow ochre showing through. And this brings about splitting. I'm being really hard with the brush in the palette when I'm splitting it, look, making sure it's split. But I'm being really gentle on the paper, because if I pressed on hard, over there, girl, if I pressed on hard, I'd close the brush up again. See? So, hard in the palette, gentle on the paper.
Sounds like a metaphor for life.
That's going a bit deep, isn't it?
Well, yeah. It's the tree that does it.
Since it's been down, there's been stories from all over the world on the newsreels of people that have come, travelled Hadrian's Wall, and this is the place where they sit and reflect. And it means a lot of things to a lot of people, or it did. People have had their wedding photographed there. Or when people have died, loved ones have died, they've gone there to sit and just think.
Marriage proposals.
Marriage proposals, it's all been going on. That tree has seen a lot of life. And apparently the estimates are it was between 200 and 300 years. It's 200 or 300 years old. All to be gone
Overnight.
very, very quickly, overnight, by morons. This is hooker's green and burnt sienna now, by the way. But you can see, I can still see the twigs through it. More bits down there. A few bits there. Now, blue. And yes, I know it's odd putting blue into trees, but that's just blue. Yeah. Mixed with a bit of muck, obviously. And again, split it. Dark areas now within the foliage. There. Now, where the tree where the foliage comes down and ends, that's what I mean, is that's going to cast a shadow on the tree trunk. So back in with black again, ultramarine blue and burnt sienna, and I've changed back to my rigger brush, to my number 8 round brush. Well, some shadow there. Look. I'm leaving light just on that outer edge. Now, still with that black, a few more twigs and bits within the foliage. And a little bit of digital art. And there, that's the tree done. I've just been told by Gail what to do in the painting. You mean
viewers
that?
would appreciate it. No, not really.
And that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That bit hanging down, yes.
So that's all right now,
Yeah,
is it?
because you see, there it is. Here. There. Yes. Much better. Thank you. We all own the sycamore tree.
I was about to say, your wish is my command. But
Changed your mind.
everybody in the house knows that what you wish is my command. The dogs are as scared of you as I am.
Quite rightly.
More bits there. Yeah. Okay. So I'm pleased that I thought about putting that. That'll do. Tree done. Now it's time for the wall bits, and I'm going back to my big brush, my 3/4 inch brush, a flat one. Just checking the colours on that. Yep. This is a bit of sand, Charles Evans sand. Bit of that. And I'm going to do the two halves separately because I've got to bash the colours on and scrape them off very quickly whilst they're still wet. So, going with this side first. Bit of Charles Evans sand. Bit there. Now, some raw umber. Bash that on as well. It's just raw umber on top of the sand, leaving bits of the sand showing through here and there. And now black, ultramarine blue and burnt sienna mixed. Bit more burnt sienna. Stick that on. And now I've got all three colours on there, and it's all still nice and wet as well. And now I'm going with my card. Just using a corner of the card, but pressing the card so it spreads slightly. Fingers on the top. This is an old hotel room key card. I spend a lot of time in hotels. First bit of the wall. Now, as I said, the light's coming from the left. So over on this side here, we're starting off with a bit of yellow ochre. Stick that on. Catching a bit more light on that side. Now, a little bit of sand again. And incidentally, if you wanted Naples yellow, if you like to mix Naples yellow, Charles Evans sand and yellow ochre mixed together will give you Naples yellow. You didn't know that, did you?
I didn't.
Yeah, you see.
Every day's a school day.
Stick with me. Now, a bit of raw umber. Every day's a school day. Do you remember that, Phil?
I actually went to school.
Oh, okay. Nice answer. Bit of raw umber there, look. I didn't go to school, I was down the pit when I was 10. Now black again. And that. Bish bash bosh. I've just left a little bit of yellow ochre showing on the tops here and there. And again, back to the card. You notice I'm doing those horizontally, because that's the way it's built. Because if I did them going downwards, like the land goes down, the wall would be falling over. Bits in different shapes there. Oops, I'll turn the card over. I'm advertising there. You were going to say I tell everybody about IKEA pencils. Right?
No, just as you turned the card over, you turned it back the other way and showed it.
Oh, okay, sorry.
And then again.
Can't think of everything, you know.
No, it's true.
My stage in life, can't think about anything.
I like to say that.
Yes, I know that. There. And there's a few bits of rock there. I think they're actually bits of wall that's dropped off. And actually, when the morons chopped the tree down, they damaged quite a bit of Hadrian's wall as well. And again, a little bit of black. Just drop it all in. And these are, I'll turn it round. These are rocky bits. There, now it's down to foreground grasses. Now, for all these grassy bits in the foreground here, I'm doing it all with my 3/4 inch brush again. Plenty of water into this as well. Starting off with some yellow ochre. And there's quite a few colours going in this lot. Going down here first with the yellow ochre. Strokes here, and some of that in that track. Like I say, it's not really a path, it's a bit of track. Well worn by feet over the years. And a little bit of that down here. Now, Hooker's green and yellow ochre mixed. A lot of yellow ochre into this. Bit of green, look, and a lot of yellow ochre. Plenty of water. and dropping that in whilst the yellow ochre is still wet. A few flicky bits coming up there. And round those rocks there. And again, a few flicky bits there. Up to the rocks. When you've got a 3/4 inch brush, you've got ultimate control because you can go around things quite easily. It's a big brush, yes, but because it's got a nice sharp edge, by the way, even though I destroyed it when I was doing the foliage, because it's got a nice sharp edge, it's easy to go up to bits, look. Nice sharp bits. Down to that. A few bits of intentional burnt sienna there as well, girl.
Oh, lovely. You can't beat a bit of burnt sienna.
Indeed. A bit more down here. Now, hooker's green and burnt sienna mixed. So I've had my hooker's green and yellow ochre, which is a much lighter green. Now hooker's green and burnt sienna. A darker, richer green there. There you see. A few bits in here as well. But you notice the way I'm putting that on. I'm not painting horizontally or vertically. I'm shaping the land with it. The brush strokes are showing. We've shaped the land. Softening it in a little bit. And a few flicky bits there. Just tapping on. And some of that over here as well. And down here. And this really starts to bring it all together now with the greens. Ties everything together. And a few of those darker bits touched in here as well, up to the wall. Now I'm using the corner of the big brush just to shape a little bit more. And some more down here. Running out of mix, and that's the other thing as well, you see. I ran out of mix there, and people always say, always make sure you mix enough because you'll never be able to mix that mix again. What's a lot of rubbish? If you run out, mix it again. Only two colours. Now, I want to tone down that path a little bit. So it's mix, that last mix I've just used, the green, but a hell of a lot more water into it. And just soak over a little bit. Have a green tinge to it, a weak green tinge to it. And I'll leave that bit light. And finally, a little bit of blue, finally into this bit, right? A bit of blue. A few touches here and there. And merge them in slightly. How's that looking, Gil?
Very good.
Now, a little bit of shadow, but it's the usual shadow colour, ultramarine blue, alizarin crimson and burnt sienna. But I don't want too much crimson in it. I don't want it too bright. So there's my ultramarine blue, alizarin crimson, touch of burnt sienna. A bit more blue actually. So just a hint of warmth in that. And that's going to come from here, across here, into the rock bits there. And then go up against the wall. And spread it out a bit here as well. A big, big shadow cast by what was a big, big, magnificent tree. I would love to think that the people that did that were actually watching this video. But of course that kind of people don't really have any finer points, do they? They're not art type people. They're scum type people. I think that's more or less it. What I need to do now is take the tape off. And there we go. There's my homage to a magnificent life that has now been terminated. I'm not going to show you any books and all that kind of stuff because it's not that kind of video. I don't feel in that mood, to be honest. But all I can say is that I really hope you've enjoyed this painting and have a go at it. And the people that did this, I loathe you with a passion that I didn't know I had inside me. Thank you very much.